Welcome back, guys. How are you all doing today? I hope you're having an amazing day, that you're enjoying your summer. And I'm here today with
Nurhan, and I am a youth career coach. I help young adults create a successful and thriving life.
Yes, and my name is Allison, and I am a subconscious mindset coach. And I help others align their conscious mind with their subconscious mind so they can achieve whatever goals they have in their life. And I have written a book. It's called Algodón. And this is a tool that you can use every single day to help you reprogram your subconscious mind very effortlessly. So today, we're just going to open up and we're going to talk about the spiritual, or no, actually, spiritual.
No, the
It is spiritual.
Intellectual.
We're going to do, let's see, spiritual, intellectual. Yes.
Yeah.
So we have 6 areas of life, right? We have spiritual, intellectual, then you have your emotional, then you have your social, physical, and your financial life. Okay, so today we picked the topic for intellectual life. So let's see here. Why do I have a rich vocabulary? Interesting.
Ooh, interesting.
It's so interesting because the other day earlier we were talking about language.
Language, yes, yeah. It's our point of attraction for today, right?
Yes, rich vocabulary. I love words.
Yeah, language in general. Yeah, I love languages. It's just amazing to be able to express yourself,
to know how to express yourself,
express yourself, and in different languages. It's quite empowering.
Yeah,
it is quite empowering.
I find it very fascinating how, as a kid, you're taught words, right? Like table and cup, and then when you grow up, you learn to put them all together, like a puzzle. Right, because if a toddler or a baby, I say this because I have like little nieces and nephews, and if they want something, they're like up, they want to be held up, right? Or they want their bottle, they call it bacha, so it's like bacha, but then when you're an adult, you're like, you have to speak, like, connect it all together.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, well, you can, like, beautiful.
Yeah.
And there's more components too.
Speaking words. Yeah. Actually, what came to my mind right now, thinking about that, asking myself, why do we need reprogramming in that area? Not in that area, in that matter.
Okay.
Right.
So why that would tell the okay? So let's take a look at the opposite of not having a rich vocabulary. Right?
Yeah.
How would that look like?
Well, yeah, you're limited, right? In expressing yourself,
right?
In expressing how you feel,
right,
and what you think, maybe expressing also your knowledge, or like transforming knowledge to somebody else or to an audience. So, yeah.
So when I think about this, it's kind of like we come from, well, I come from Spanish, like speaking Spanish and English, and you also come from different languages.
German and Arabic, yes.
Yes. So in that way, I feel like we already have more of an abundance of vocabulary just because we have different words for different things in different languages, right? But if you think about people that don't have rich vocabulary, or they only grew up with one single language, then it's different, because they're growing up. You compare to children or to kids, growing up, one is they only know one language, right? And then the other one grows up with multiple languages. Learning that expands your neocortex, right? Like your brain. So you're developing more of your brain with rich vocabulary, right? You have more neural connections, neurotransmitters, and This alone helps you to be more intellectually stable, right? You're able to communicate things. I remember when I was a kid and my mom, she would say, I don't understand you, because you know that baby talk? Like instead of saying plátano, which is banana, I would say pátano. And she'd be like, no, I don't understand. What are you trying to say? I don't understand you. And so that program of having a rich vocabulary, of having a good vocabulary for that matter, led me to now every time that I'm going to speak or I'm going to talk with someone or I want to even see in my mind what kind of thoughts I have, it's like, okay, what am I really trying to say? I want to pronounce this correctly. I want to actually be understood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And so when, you see this day and age, especially kids, teenagers, what do they learn? Slang, short word text messages.
Oh, yeah.
It could be fun. Don't get me wrong. TTYL, short and easy and quick, right? You send a quick text, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But that's not like a formal way of communicating things.
Yes.
And then you translate that into what you don't see, which is like when you want to communicate your emotions, or you want to communicate something that is bothering you, or you want to communicate financial things. Like, how many of us know financial terms? So how many of us know spiritual terms? Or for that matter, scientific terms, right?
Yeah.
So knowing and having a good, rich abundance of vocabulary is just not just being abundant in your spiritual life, not just being abundant in your physical life or like all these other areas of life, but also being abundant intellectually.
Yes.
And I feel like, or I think that that's true wealth. That's true riches. Because however you communicate with others, that's a first impression too, Like think about when people go interview for a career or a job.
Yes.
Tell me about yourself. And the way you articulate something is how you're going to articulate everything else. The way you do one thing, that's how you're doing all of the things,
Yeah.
So I know for me, growing up, I always preferred writing essays. I could write a 20-page essay, no problem. Just don't give me math to solve. But over time now, I reprogram myself to enjoy numbers, right? And understand financial statements and vocabulary and documents and so on and so forth. But that was my thing. It's like, I love words so much. Even since when I was little, I would be in spelling bee contests because I loved words. And I think that words, instead of like just being super cliche, when someone asks you, how are you? And you're just like, I'm good. Or like, I'm okay. How are you? Are you really okay? Are you really good?
Yeah.
But if you have a rich vocabulary, you could say, well, I'm fabulous, like change it up a little bit.
Yes.
Just at that level. Obviously, you can mention other things, well, today is an 8 out of 10. Oh, okay. What?
Yeah.
Why is it an 8 out of 10?
Yeah.
Or today's a 10 out of 10. Or today's an 100 out of 10. You see, like it's not just vocabulary, but it's also, you're rich in the way that you're expressing yourself.
Yes.
Right? And then you make others attractive to you, to your vocabulary, and then therefore it's like you show to be expressive and you know how to use certain words in certain times,
Yeah.
because some words can be a little more harsh than others, right? And others can be more gentle than others, and others can be very vague.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good. Are you really good?
Yeah. Tell me more.
Yeah. But instead, if you say, no, you know what? I'm enjoying summer. I'm out here in the sun and I feel the sun is caressing my face and I love that. It's just like you're actually embodying that.
Yes.
And this is what authors have.
Yeah.
In poems, for example.
Yeah.
Why are poems so enjoyable and so beautiful? Because they're full of vocabulary.
Yeah, richness, right?
Right.
Yes.
You don't just want like a whatever pizza, to fill your taste. You want a savory pizza or a savory meal, right?
Yeah.
To give pleasure to your taste buds. It's the same thing. You want that savory vocabulary to give pleasure to others, to like stimulate their mind, give them another perspective, right?
Yeah. you're right. The stimulation part, it goes definitely
Yeah.
through the articulation and the language and just how you express yourself. So you are how you speak.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
So you are how you speak. And I can see that, for example, I always have been in every language I learned. So like I speak 4 languages, like German, Arabic, French, and English.
Woo!
Yeah, so it's like in every language, my articulation and I speak clearly
Yes.
and slowly. So I say like in German there's an expression where you say you're eating the words. You know, when you're just speaking half of the word because you're so fast and you're like kind of savoring the words instead of speaking every word clearly. And I heard that from a lot of my teachers, saying that when you're speaking, it's like
Sounded out.
it sounded out. And I always did that because it's just beautiful. You know, it's like very important to me. So I go to a restaurant sometimes and then my server is like introducing the menu and it's like I barely understand what he or she is saying, not because I don't understand the words, so it's not in English, it's just
He seems rushed.
yeah, that's the problem. Okay, wait a minute. You know, let's go so slowly and step by step. So there's no need to just speak half of the word.
Cut off the word.
Yeah.
Like, for example, don't and do not.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. I always, for example, when I'm texting, I always write like do not. I always write I would. So it's yeah. I mean, we learn the short forms at school.
Yeah.
It's normal, but I love it more to write it all out.
Be spelled out.
So
Yes.
spelled out. So and yeah, it's very important. It's not only very important, it's just the way you present yourself as well. So language is so important, and I love that part where you said in interview. Yeah, so when I'm coaching like college students, like young adults, and you're looking for jobs, so it's really like okay, the way you present yourself is everything. It's like it's not only cliche like oh image, you know, whatever is within yourself, but that's the first impression you give. No, that's the first impression you give. So yeah, and when I moved here like now 3.5 years ago, I got in touch with the House of Germany here in San Diego, and they were looking for a teacher, like they offer classes. We're looking for to teach German.
Okay.
So, and I did that. So I was like, I was doing. I had time. My time schedule was flexible. So I said, why not? Then I always love tutoring. Besides my corporate job and all that. So, and there we come to language, right? So I am teaching German, and then it's the first thing what I do with my mostly elementary school. So it's like, okay, the way you read, the way you speak the word out, the way I want to hear your voice. Don't diminish yourself. Don't go. So yeah, it's like, why is my vocabulary rich?
Yes.
I love that.
Yes. And I think it's also important to not just know what to say and how to say it, but also to know what not to say and when not to say something. Right? I think that's also like the contrast there. It's good to know both sides. Of like, okay, am I gonna say this? Is now a good time? Or can it wait a little bit? And that applies to everything, you know, the thoughts in your mind when you're communicating with others in relationships, friendships, you know, your parents, co-workers, friends, whatever it is, it's like, okay, am I going to bless with what I'm going to speak? you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or is it going to just create? Obviously, of course, if you need to confront someone about something, then there's a proper way to do that too, but you don't get taught that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like in school, public schools, kids, you know, he hit me, no, he started it, no. And it's just like cool back and forth instead of like, okay, let's be the bigger person and let's be mature and let's talk about this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like knowing how to communicate yourself without feeling or like without making others feel less. I think that's a beautiful skill to have, right?
Absolutely.
To like be
Yes.
able to say, okay, I hear you, but this is why I don't agree, or this is why I do agree, or have you thought about this before, or like what do you think about this, right? And like just articulating a way to like properly and just cordially have a conversation,
Yes.
a mature conversation without finger pointing, without blaming, without guilt, without just neutral.
Neutral. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when we learn, actually, it's also part of reprogramming the subconscious mind. That's when we learn to respond instead of reacting.
Yeah. Or it's, in some instances, you don't even need a reaction, you know, like no action is just.
Yeah. No words.
Yeah.
No words are sometimes very rich,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like, what is it going to create within myself? So if I'm saying or sharing that, is it gonna add something to
Yes.
my state of being or how I feel at the moment, or my well-being? Is it gonna add something, or is it just gonna make me resentful or angry or whatever?
Yeah.
So it's really important to like stop for a like for a second.
Yes.
And
Before
then
speaking. Right?
before speaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I also love is the part of I see you, I hear you,
I understand.
I
you.
understand.
Yeah.
So that's all about learning to communicate with emotional maturity.
Yes.
Right? It's like learning to listen to another person without having the urge of
Yep.
reacting right away or saying something. I mean, it's well meant, and I know it from myself. I used to do that a lot, like coming in with my ideas or what I think about that, and like fixing, right? So it's was coming from a place of I want to help. I have an idea, I want to share it with you. But mostly what we need, like in general, like we only need somebody to listen. Now, unless somebody asks you for advice, or for help, then you can add to it. No? But that's a beautiful part, how communication is really a skill to be learned.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, I heard one time from one of my clients, and they were saying or they were complaining that other people don't listen to them. And I said, okay, well, do you listen to yourself?
Yeah.
Right? So it all goes back to your relationship with yourself. How you communicate with others, it's how you're communicating with yourself. How you're listening to others is how you're listening to yourself, or not listening to yourself, not communicating with yourself. So take a look at that and see, what are you telling yourself? How are you telling yourself? When are you telling yourself? Because there's time for everything, right? And so, like, for example, in the morning when you wake up, do you tell yourself, oh, I have so much stuff to do? And that's kind of like not being respectful of your own time, of your, all the other things are going to get taken care of, right? You put priority, they'll get taken care of. But take a look at how you're treating yourself and how you're speaking to yourself. And then you'll see how it'll reflect back to others. And then once you add the rich vocabulary, you add on to having an abundance of vocabulary, then it's kind of like so much easier to communicate what you want to say. And the type of people and the type of persons that will actually understand you as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And even if you use big words or bigger words and other people don't understand you, then you'll have that like mindset of like, okay, this is where I'm coming from. This is what this word means, without making them feel any less.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And it's actually not about, I believe, it's not about we're lacking vocabulary, right? Like if you're looking at this affirmation and you're like, why do I have a rich vocabulary? It doesn't imply that you have not enough vocabulary.
Correct.
Are you using it?
Yes.
That's what it is. And it's laziness. I would say it's laziness in terms of
not using the knowledge.
Not using the knowledge of the language, right? Of your language skill. That's so, and it doesn't matter if it's one language or if you speak one language for 3 languages, 5 languages, really doesn't matter. It's just a way how you carry yourself.
Right. Exactly.
So it's like, it's how I truly believe that it's very important how you dress, how you speak, how you articulate, now how are you carrying yourself?
Yes. Take up space.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That take up space, and it also buys into the body language, right? So it's like, it's not only that, it's like not only the language, like it all comes together.
Yeah.
Now when your voice is heard by yourself first. I love that. Yeah, it's the relationship. So your voice matters. Yeah. Your voice matters. Your self-expression matters.
Yes.
And so your way of feeling and thinking and your ideas matter. Your inspirations matter. So we are all gifted.
Yes, we are.
We are abundantly gifted. So hiding it is like betraying yourself. And with words, it's also a way how it comes out. So yeah. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I just had a thought and it just kind of like went away, but that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to, excuse me. Whoa. There you go. Talking about your voice, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's important to know how to like voice yourself, but then also, this is what I was trying to say. In what tone?
Oh yeah.
That also has a big impact, you know? Because you can say, you know, yeah, I'm okay. Or I can say, yeah, I'm okay. You know,
yeah,
it just varies. And not just only having a rich vocabulary, but in which tonality you're speaking. Are you calm, or are you already agitated, or you know where are you coming from? Take a step back before anything comes out of your mouth, before you speak of anything. Just take a step back and okay, how do I want this conversation to go? How would I want it to go, right? What am I going to say if this person says this or if this person says that? Like, because you can't control what other people do or say, right? But you can control how you react, what you're going to say to them. And that's your character. That's your personality, right?
Yeah.
And so now our invitation for today's video is so that you can watch out for your vocabulary. See first how you're speaking to yourself. If you're listening to yourself, how are you doing so? How often are you doing so? Or if you're not even doing it at all. And then see how that is mirroring to how you're communicating with others, and just, you know, go from there.
Absolutely.
Yes. So thanks guys for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.